I'm Local 5 meteorologist Brandon Lawrence. Thanks for coming to We Are Iowa Plus and WeAreIowa.com for a weather update. Now, we've obviously had a lot of rainfall in southern and western Iowa to kick off our Wednesday. These are just some totals, not an exhaustive list by any means, and we will continue to get updates to these numbers as we go throughout the day. In Massena, out in western Iowa, over 3 inches of rain there. Diagonal, that's in southern Iowa, close to 3 inches. Creston had about 2.5 inches. Atlantic, just shy of 2. And at the Des Moines Airport, when I updated this list, we had about 1/10 of an inch of rain. However, we've had a steady rain for a little while now, so that number will be going up. These are some of the official airport totals in southwestern Iowa. We had a total of over 2 inches at the airport in Lamoni, more than 3.5 in Creston. So that's really been the bullseye. Sometimes we call this a fire hose setup when we get a lot of rain over the same areas repeatedly, and we see that often at this time of year. Here are some more estimates from Harlan, Oakland, and Atlantic. Again, close to 3 inches there. We may have had a couple of areas in Cass County that had more than 4 inches of rain. And of course, it is still raining there as of this update, which is being recorded at about 8:30 in the morning. We also have more heavy rain that fell across parts of Decatur and Wayne County and up into Clark County. So it's been a very busy morning. Now, we need the rainfall, but sometimes too much of a good thing in too short of a period of time can be bad. We've had multiple flash flood warnings highlighted in those green boxes over western and west central Iowa. One of those does include Cass County, and this is because there could be some flooded roadways there. Remember, if you encounter a flooded roadway, find an alternate route. So this is the radar picture as of about 8:30. Keep in mind, when you watch this a little bit later, the radar update will probably look a bit different. You can always get, by the way, interactive radar on our free We Are Iowa app. We have more moisture still coming in from western Iowa and Nebraska. A steady rain across south central Iowa and now into southeast Iowa. For the metro area, we're going to get a lull soon. Again, as of this recording, we have some steady rain that has been falling from Waukee to West Des Moines to Cumming and Norwalk by the airport, and that is going to move a little bit farther to the south, and then we will still see additional chances for pop-up activity later on today. In western Iowa and southwestern Iowa, we do still have a bit of thunder and lightning with these cells. Thankfully, the setup is not really conducive to anything severe. These are the radar estimates where you see the purples and blues on the map. That's where our Doppler radar is saying we may have had 4 to 5 inches of rain. And again, there is still more on the way, so we're going to wind up with some pretty hefty totals in the southwestern and south central part of the state. This area highlighted in yellow, sort of at greatest risk for flash flooding over the next couple of hours. They've already taken on a lot of rain. It'll be a zone that we watch very carefully heading into lunchtime and the afternoon. Now, our models are really not doing such a hot job with this setup in general. They don't do well with these sorts of scenarios very often, so this is something we are familiar with and used to dealing with. This model tries to keep some rain around through lunchtime, then gives us a bit of a lull before more downpours develop in the afternoon. I think that's definitely possible as we get a short wave of energy through the jet stream and into Iowa later on today, but I still think it's trying to develop these downpours too far to the north. I think it will still be close to I-80 and points down to the south. Bottom line, there will be redevelopment, I think, later today. The totals will only increase across southern Iowa. The farther north you go, likely the lower those totals will be. And I'm still pretty confident that the northern part of our state will totally miss out on rain today. We may see an additional ½ inch to an inch of rain across parts of southern Iowa. Wouldn't be surprised if we get additional downpours later. If the metro can pick up close to a ½ inch in some areas, we did already have a ½ inch or more in parts of Norwalk, so it's definitely possible. All of this winds down late tonight, and then overnight there may be a straggling storm near the Iowa and Missouri border. We will have all this leftover moisture and so therefore I think fog could develop overnight after midnight through early tomorrow morning. We may have some visibility issues, but tomorrow is looking like a drier day overall. That bodes well for the start of 360 Knoxville Nationals at Knoxville Raceway. I think we will have a partly cloudy sky with mid-80s. I'm not going to totally rule out a stray downpour tomorrow in the southern part of the state, but I really think our next best chance will be coming in Friday night and into the weekend. There will be a couple different waves that move through. The Storm Prediction Center is watching one area, and this is that zone highlighted in yellow for potential severe weather on Saturday. Right now it includes far southwest Iowa. I think we may be on the cooler side of the setup, believe it or not. So that's not to say severe storms won't be an issue on Saturday, but we will have to watch how it evolves. So here's what your outlook looks like. I think Friday's chance is mainly going to be in the evening and late night hours. Scattered storms possible early in the day and again in the second half of the day on Saturday. We may have one more round that pushes through on Sunday. And next week looks a little bit quieter and drier, but also a little bit cooler. There could be some days where we stay in the 70s.